At the edge of a quiet valley where mist curled gently between ancient trees, there lived a child named Alara. She was small, soft-spoken, and often forgotten, but her heart was filled with questions too large to keep inside. Every morning she watched the forest from her window, sensing that it was listening, even when no one else believed her. Alara lived with people who were always busy and always certain. They believed the world worked only the way it had yesterday. Wishes, they said, were for bedtime stories. Magic was for children who hadn't learned better yet. So Alara learned to be quiet. She learned to fold her hopes carefully and tuck them away where no one could see them. One evening, as the sun sank low and painted the sky in amber light, Alara wandered into the forest alone. The air felt warmer there, as if the trees were breathing. Deep beneath the roots of an old oak, she found something glowing softly in the soil, a tiny seed, warm in her palm, pulsing like a heartbeat. No voice spoke, no sign appeared, yet Alara knew the seed was meant to be planted, not kept. She knelt beside a clearing where the earth was dark and rich. As she placed the seed into the ground, she closed her eyes and made the smallest wish she had ever dared to make. She did not wish for gold. She did not wish to be powerful. She wished not to feel alone. The forest went silent. For a moment, Alara feared she had done something wrong, but then the soil shimmered and the ground settled, as if the earth itself had exhaled. Alara returned home with empty hands, unsure if anything had changed at all. The next morning, the forest felt different. Leaves leaned closer when Alara passed. Paths curved gently to meet her feet. Sunlight found her no matter where she stood. Birds gathered nearby, not singing, but listening. The trees whispered without words, and somehow Alara understood. She was no longer invisible. Each day the forest grew more alive. Flowers bloomed where she paused. Streams slowed so she could cross. Hidden creatures with eyes like lanterns watched her with quiet curiosity. For the first time in her life, Alara felt seen, held, and welcomed. But others noticed the change too. People came from the valley, drawn by the forest's sudden beauty. They spoke of rare blossoms and enchanted wood. They measured trees and marked stones. They did not listen when the forest grew uneasy. They did not notice the way the light dimmed when they argued, or how the ground stiffened beneath greedy feet. Alara tried to warn them, though her voice trembled. She told them the forest was alive, that it was answering something fragile, but they smiled politely and continued their plans. That night, the forest wept. Roots twisted in pain. Leaves fell without wind. The clearing where Alara had planted the seed cracked open, revealing a young tree glowing faintly at its heart. Its branches were thin, struggling, bending beneath a weight unseen. Alara understood then. The forest had not granted her wish. It had trusted her with it. The magic was never meant to grow on its own. It needed protection. It needed choice. As the valley prepared to take what they wanted, the forest began to fade. Paths vanished, light dimmed, creatures fled, and Alara stood at the center, knowing the final answer was hers alone. She could ask the forest to close itself forever, to push everyone away and keep her safe within its walls, or she could give up the one place where she belonged. Alara stepped into the clearing as the ground trembled. She placed her hands against the young tree and whispered a new wish, not for herself, but for the forest to live freely, even if it meant losing her. The glow surged once, then vanished. By morning, the forest was still. The magic had faded. The paths lay plain. The whispers were gone. The people left disappointed, calling it ordinary again. Alara stood quietly among the trees, her heart heavy but steady. She had chosen kindness over comfort, sacrifice over safety. And then something remarkable happened. A breeze passed through the leaves, gentle and warm. Flowers bloomed without glow. birds sang without enchantment, the forest lived, not as magic, but as itself. And Alara was no longer alone. The people of the valley began to visit not to take, but to walk, to listen, to rest. They planted, repaired, and protected. Children laughed among the trees, feeling something they could not explain. Alara grew older, but the forest never forgot her. Wherever she walked, roots parted softly. Wherever she rested, shade followed. She had planted a wish, and the forest had answered, not by changing the world, but by teaching it how to care.